In a world searching for a light in the dark, there is only one two-man team with the balls to take you by the hand and lead you towards the light. That one team is RantWorthy Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. It's another Sunday. I think it's
September 3rd.
September 3rd?
Yeah.
Dang, where is the year gone?
I don't know.
That's insane. It's 2017. I'm your host, Lee Powell, with my co-host, Ryan, the father of Dragon Chamber.
What's going on?
And we're casting the pods from a secret bunker in the heartland of America, Cincinnati, OHIO. Well, what's nice is, first and foremost, we got to thank our sponsors.
Yes, we do.
How crazy.
What
Fighter Philosophy.
Fighter Philosophy.
Fighter Philosophy is now a sponsor of the podcast for a little while. And if you want to check out Fighter Philosophy, you can go to their Etsy shop, which is probably where I would send you right away. They have an Etsy shop. Go to Etsy, search Fighter Philosophy. You can go there or go to fighterphilosophy.com. Really, their Etsy shop is centered around jiu-jitsu gear. And I think just almost like an Under Armour-ish type thing in general. I think, police, firefighters, a lot of different people can wear Under Armour type clothing. But for us, we're using it as straight up rash guards. And last week, I think you got the package during the week.
Yeah, I got the package on Monday. We got that and some stickers. Each one of us got a rash guard, a long sleeve for me and two short sleeves for Ray and Lee. And I got to tell you, you always wonder with rash guards. Look, we just talked about this over the weekend. We shop for, jiu-jitsu gear a lot, and you're always wondering about how it's going to fit because it's really, once you find a company that you like, you tend to stick with that because
you just never stray.
Yeah, because the fits are so different from here to there that it's just really strange. So when we got those, you're always kind of weary about how it is, but I got to tell you, mine is the best fitting rash guard that I own, and I'm not just saying that because
you were telling me that just when we were training.
I was so excited about it. I mean, because I don't like anything that fits too loose or too tight. It's seriously the perfect fit. The neck is tight. It has good length on it. I absolutely love it.
I feel like that's like the inner autism in me that I cannot stand things just not fitting right. I am a stickler,
Yeah.
I am. And the first thing I did when I put this thing on is it went around my neck, and I stopped putting the rest of it on. And while it's around my neck, I text you guys like, this is one of my favorite necks I've ever had on a rash guard ever because it's nice and tight. I can't stand having something that's already tight. Rash guards are tight. And so, it's trying to keep you from being all gross on the mats. And it being all loose and disgusting, like a loose shirt, like you're that one dirty kid in the trailer park. It's like I don't know.
Bacon neck.
It's just so gross looking. Neck. So this is nice and tight, and what's cool is too, it's not too thin, which is usually I think what creates kind of the floppy neck. It's not too thin. It's not too thick. It's nice right in between. It's breathable, but it's also firm enough to where it doesn't feel like shit. I like it. It's a very, very nice rash guard. What's cool is too, I know you got the Miyato Musashi one, right? Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool because it's got the rising sun like on one side. It's got like a battle scene on the front. Mm-hmm. It's one of those ones where some people like those kind of things. I'm like a plain guy. You like the designs.
Oh, I'm all about the flashy stuff.
That's what I kind of like is that they have the flashy stuff, or you can be like me and kind of get more of the plain stuff. Mine is honestly across the shoulders, almost like this old school gis you used to see tatami with or Fuji with, where they have the American flag kind of on the shoulders. It's kind of like that. It has like the stars and stripes on one side and just the stripes on the other side. It looks really good. It's simplistic, but with the fit, simplistic, price, and everything, it's actually really good. So if you guys want to hit up our sponsors, go to the Etsy shop, put in Fighter Philosophy, shop over there, hit it up.
Yeah, hit up Brian at Fighter Philosophy. He's a very nice guy. Let's support him.
Very nice.
So,
what was going on this week, Ryan Ader? Anything?
So I set Halloween this week at work.
Yeah, you sent me I feel like you guys never fuck around when it comes to Halloween.
Oh, no.
You sent me a video of just one of the little dancing kind of doll things, and it was singing some updated goofy K-pop song, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I feel like, because Ryan is a upper guy at Home Depot, and I feel like you guys do the most ridiculous setups for Halloween. If people don't know about, I feel like not everybody knows. Like if you want to go shop for Halloween decorations, I think people think that they need to go to Walmart and Target and all this kind of shit. The place to go is fucking Home Depot.
Yeah.
You're inside of a gigantic warehouse that is full of fucking Halloween decorations.
Yeah, we do.
That place is crazy.
We do Halloween and Christmas right for sure.
I mean, you sent pictures the other day, and it was gigantic how much shit there is.
We built these giant cardboard merchandisers that projectors go in.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a pain in the butt. It comes in this giant box, and you have to like put them all together, and then you run electric through them and stuff, and it is wild. It took forever. But so it's funny this week because we set Halloween, and as we're going through this stuff, I was opening stuff up, and I'm being a complete child. I pushed every button,
right,
and on purpose.
You're like, what does this one do?
Yeah, we were setting bays, and on purpose, I was like, yeah, I'll just take this bay here. It just so happened to be the one that had all of the Halloween accessories in it, so I'm like pushing every button as we're going through here, and so we're setting it, and it reminded me of, especially when I opened these scarecrows, of something that I used to do when I was in high school, and I wanted to tell you a story about it.
God.
So I know that you do not know about this at all. So we used to do something that we used to call gifting. Okay. So what we would do is me and a couple of my friends in high school, we used to go around, and let's be honest here, every boy as a teenager gets into mild vandalism, all right?
Oh,
you just go through this time period. So I'm going to incriminate myself here a little bit, but we'll talk about that. So what we used to do is we used to go through and we would steal Halloween decorations from people, okay? So we would take these and then we would set them up elaborately in other people's yards.
Oh, God.
And that's what we called gifting, okay? So
not just stealing people's shit.
Yeah, exactly.
How far away are you doing it?
We'd go like a couple blocks down and reset them up just far enough to where the other person was like, where the hell did this come from? Because you couldn't just do the neighbor, because that would be too easy.
Right. And I wonder if they would leave it up.
Yeah, like, I don't know. But we would
like, hell yeah.
We would do things where, like, we would take a scarecrow and pop it. Like, scarecrows were the best because you could find ways to pose them. So we would take them and pop them in somebody's front yard so that when they walked out the front door, it'd be waving at them and stuff. God. We stuck one where it was looking inside somebody's window. And then at one point in time, we took an entire elaborate graveyard scene and moved it to somebody else's house. So it was like 10 tombstones and like fake like spider web around all this stuff. We took the entire thing and set it up exactly the same in someone else's yard, like 2 subdivisions.
You guys didn't get caught doing this?
No.
You gotta be kidding me.
I know. So we would be this was like a thing in the country. Everybody did this at
You're
one
gonna
point.
have a whole town pissed off at you.
Oh, I know. Like I said, I'm incriminating myself a little bit, but that's fine. So the best one, it kind of transitioned into something else too, and this is a little bit more common among teenage boys, where one night somebody grabbed a scarecrow and we ripped a mailbox off of the post and then stuck the scarecrow on the mailbox post. So we left it there, and then it kind of just randomly turned into us going through and just destroying mailboxes out of control. And this went on for like 2 months.
I feel like every teenager goes through the mailbox phase.
Yeah, we're hitting them with baseball bats. We're coming through, and we were doing the gifting with mailboxes too. So if your mailbox was one of the ones that were attached to a post, we would rip it off and switch the mailbox with somebody else's mailbox.
That's a federal crime, sir.
Yeah. So we were doing that, and we drop kicked a couple mailboxes down.
Drop kicked.
And then that transformed into us starting to get, we started hitting other things. So I don't think it's still Biggs anymore. You remember Biggs and Harrison, right?
No, not at all.
Okay. So Biggs and Harrison, because I grew up closer to that, and it's kind of like it's like an off-brand Walmart. You can go there to get some really cheap stuff.
Okay.
So we would go there and we would buy the cheapest cases of pop that we could, and we would use them strictly for ammunition. We'd buy like
buying Faygo.
Oh yeah, like in a can, yeah. Right. And so we'd buy like 6 cases of pop, and we'd be back in the back of this, and we were smoking church signs. Like I could remember on multiple occasions where someone would shake up a pop, throw it, and it would go straight through one of the lit up church signs.
How dare you?
Oh yeah, we hit the
everywhere they go. There's this Faygo lying everywhere. So when you go and buy Faygo, they're like, you're either a vandal or a juggalo. We don't know where you are.
So this one time we were going through, we bought some cases of pop. I think we had bought some like tomatoes or something too, just a bunch of random stuff. And like the grand finale of this night was going to be a jar of ragu spaghetti sauce. Okay, so we had bought this jar. So there's 4 of us driving around in a Jetta, and we are just drilling everything. Like, and we strategically, it's so funny too, because now that I think about it, I remember having a conversation about, so 2 of us, the driver and myself, were left-handed, and 2 of the people in the car were right-handed. So we literally like planned out where we were sitting based on who threw with what hand.
Of course.
Yeah. So we're going through and we're hitting all this stuff. I remember that same night. You know where Stricker's Grove is, obviously, but we threw a pop and hit the sign, and that is way up there. And like we were like all pumped about that. And so we're driving through. We've gone through all of our pop, and we're gonna finish off the night. So the guy that is in the you always have that guy in the group who is like, this is his one skill in life, and he's good at hitting this, and he'll never be good at anything else. So it's like one of those things.
Right.
Like his talent in life was hitting things
out of a moving car.
Exactly.
Of course.
So we're driving along. And we give...
He's like, I finally found my calling.
The guy in the passenger seat, his talent, he was the best one at hitting stuff. So we give him the jar of ragu because we do not want to waste this.
Right.
So we're driving along, and we see this mailbox, and it's a big one. It's got like the brick post at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And we're like, all right, this is the one. So we turned around, and we had to turn around twice to get back to it to get him on the right side of the road. We speed the car up. He's kind of like hanging out the window, and rather than like be far enough over to where he can throw it, he's close, so he kind of like shovel passes it out of the car.
Right.
Well, here's the problem. So being teenage boys, apparently we did not understand how the world works yet. And the
physics.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. So as he throws it, the back window for the person behind the passenger seat is open.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. So if you've ever experienced anything where like cigarette ashes fly back in the car or anything like that, you know not to spit out the window with the back window down. So he throws this jar and it explodes. And as it explodes, glass shards fly into the car and embed themselves into the face of the guy sitting in the back seat. And
he's blind now.
Yeah, how he's not blind, to be honest, is like surprising because it was everywhere. He grabs his face and he's like, oh fuck.
You don't know what's blood and what's ragu.
Yeah. There's seriously spaghetti sauce all over.
My eyes are burning. Is it the glass or the salt from the ragu?
And so we're running through and like we like rush back to his house and he's like, we're like, well, you might have to go to the hospital. He's like, I'm not going to the hospital. And so to end this night, we are sitting in my friend's room, wiping spaghetti sauce all off of our other friend's face and pulling glass out of his face with a pair of tweezers.
God damn.
Needless to say, after that, gifting was officially retired, and we did not do that anymore.
We did have something similar to this, and it wasn't me doing it, but I remember hanging out with some friends, and they had a little brother. Okay, so in my area, it's like we have a lot of blocks on blocks on blocks. I mean, it is very like I don't even know how to describe. I don't want to even say it's not like an urban area. I don't even know how to describe. But it's just tons of blocks of kids everywhere, and there are houses everywhere. There's not a long space of there being no homes. It's just a billion fucking.
It's like
houses
more
on top of
suburban,
super suburban.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And tons of houses, and something was happening where all these, and it was the time where inflatable ones got really popular.
Yeah.
So probably like 2000 to 2004-ish, somewhere in there. It was when that became the big thing. So everyone had an inflatable ghost, a witch,
right?
Peanuts character inside of a pumpkin kind of thing. And everyone's shit was getting like busted in the middle of the night or something like that. So there was like some serial vandalism going on where someone kept stabbing all of the fucking inflatables. And I mean, everybody was going to school like, yeah, man, my parents are pissed. Someone stabbed our fucking inflatable. And it was happening if you were within if you went to my school, you knew about this happening. And then it was so funny. Randomly one day, this kid like disappeared out of our school, and we're like, where the fuck did that guy go? And he ended up being on the news the night before.
Did he get arrested?
He got arrested. So someone put a camera out front. They put an inflatable up, put a camera on it, and there he is running through the front yard. And it was hilarious because it's the absolute mind of a teenager. He does he like drop kicks it at first. And then all of a sudden, it's like, it was so funny because it's like a guy coming through, like you just see him enter the frame of an inflatable, and he like drop kicks through it, right? Rolls out of frame, and then comes back in frame with a knife, and he just starts stabbing it, like, and then he just runs, hops in like a truck or something, and drives away. It was one of the funniest videos I had ever seen, and everyone was like, that fucking idiot. Like, it was, and they charged this motherfucker for everything.
Wow.
I mean, they're like, anybody who had anything happen to their shit, they were just like, oh, it was that kid. There's people that probably had some old ones, 10 years old, they're stabbing it like it was that little fucker. And he got in a lot of trouble. It was really fucking funny.
That's so funny.
But when you're talking about the gifting thing, that happened in my area, and that made me think of that right away. I feel like it's so cool too, because Labor Day weekend, which is what this weekend is, Labor Day weekend always is like the signifier of summer being over, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is when I always get ready for fall. You start watching horror movies, and it finally starts. But this year, another thing that I'm doing is I'm going full-fledged Halloween right now. I usually wait till like October, and I just enjoy it for 1 month. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going 2 months strong of Halloween. I bought Halloween decorations just yesterday.
Fuck yeah, that's
awesome. I started
awesome.
picking up some shit. I was like, fuck it, I'm buying some stuff. But I was like, when I was a little kid, I used to always take September, like start watching horror movies. And remember, I always told you too, in my basement, my dad had all those horror movies and shit.
Yeah.
And so I always had them like at my leisure, and I'd watch them. But that led, I was thinking about that over the weekend, and it led me to something funny. And I was wondering if this ever happened to you. Did you ever get caught whacking off?
Why?
I don't know. Did you?
I've had some close calls.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that a weird question? I don't know.
A little. I was not expecting that.
I've never got caught, but why? What do you mean some close calls?
Oh God.
You should see Ryan's face right now.
Well,
he's in shock.
The one person who almost caught me is sitting across from the table right now.
Me?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I almost caught you? I don't even remember.
Well,
do I know that I almost caught you? Did I say something?
I don't think so. Well,
I don't remember this at all, or I've scrubbed it from my memory.
You might remember after I tell you.
It's a traumatic experience.
I remember, I think it was right after a girl had left. I think.
What better time?
Yeah. But I remember I was watching TV while I was living here, and you always knocked before you came in.
Yeah.
So I was never worried about it. And there was one night where it was...
I'm feeling intrusive.
I'm just going to apologize to my parents right now, because this is not something they should be listening to.
Been here, done that.
Yeah, so sorry in advance. And you threw the door open, and you had that fucking smirk on your face.
Right.
And you said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I shot up. Like, I had the blankets over me, and I shot up really quick, and I was like, "Nothing. What's going on?" And you were like, "Nothing." And just closed the door.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So
I probably thought I was being funny, like, hey, I caught you, and I don't think I maybe even expected to legitimately catch you.
Yeah.
Therefore, I didn't think it was you really doing that.
Yeah, it was probably why, because I think I had just had a girl over or something, and she left.
You know, it's funny that when you're a kid and you're like smacking your ding-a-ling around, and you think no one knows that you do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember thinking I was a super secretive, but now as an adult, can you imagine if you had a son?
Oh,
like you would totally know, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You would know right away what's going on. But I remember when I was a kid, I thought I was like absolute smooth criminal. Like no one knew what I was doing. So my dad had all these VHS tapes down there, right? And he had one that was Creepshow 2, right?
Yeah.
And Creepshow 2, there's a raft scene, and it was like some girl naked sunbathing or some shit. But when you're a kid, like you think you've like struck gold when you've actually like seen some boobs on like a VHS tape. And I remember seeing that and I was just like, oh my God, boobs, this is so cool. And I would only watch that, right? So and obviously you could use your imagination what would happen after that when you're like an 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So I remember one time I thought, like I said, I'm smooth criminal. No idea anybody knows what's going on. I think I'm the only person who knows what's going on. And my dad would watch TV downstairs sometimes. He walks up to me later on. He's like, he goes, "Hey, Lee." "Yep. I went to go watch Creepshow today." "Okay." And as a kid, you watch it and then you just stop it and take it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was at a pretty specific part of the movie, and it's been there the last couple times I've watched this movie. I'm like, okay. And he goes, "I know what you're doing. Stop it." That's all he said to me. "I know what you're doing. Stop it." My whole, my ears started ringing. I couldn't think anymore. I was like, oh my God, this is the most embarrassing shit ever. I couldn't believe that somehow he fucking knew. But yeah, that was my, that reminded me of that this weekend. But that was going on with our week. What's going on with your everybody's week? Let's answer some questions.
What do you mean? When you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no. What do you mean? Hey, yeah. When you don't want me to move, but you tell me to go. What do you mean?
All right, let's answer some questions, Ryan Nader.
Questions. Man, this is I gotta tell you, I was telling this before the show. Mm-hmm. I am enjoying this so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So like when I prep these on Saturday night, it's like pre-giggle fest before coming in here on Sunday, because I'm reading through these questions and you just realize what the real problems of the world are.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking to yourself, like, I'm so thankful that these are not things that I think about.
Yeah, at all. Some of the stuff that gets Googled every week, I'm flabbergasted.
Dude.
I'm absolutely surprised.
It is an absolute joy for me to go through and do this. I look forward to it.
It is funny.
So, all right. So, question number 1: why are there seasons?
Because shows get boring and you need a break.
I don't think those are the seasons they're referring to.
Why are there seasons? I know. Okay, it's a common misconception, right, about the Earth going around the sun and being closer and further. I know that isn't it, just because I learned that in school. And does it have to do with the tilt?
Correct. Okay. Yeah, so that's why when the northern and southern hemispheres of the world actually have opposite seasons. So like when,
right.
So like in Australia,
because you're tilted towards the sun.
Correct. Okay. So in Australia, for instance, their summer would be our winter.
Right.
So yeah, so they're opposite. It 100% has to do with the tilt of the Earth.
Yeah, it's not really about the rotation; it's the tilt.
Correct.
Right. That makes sense.
All right. Question number 2. What is Labor Day?
It's a fond memory of mine. My Labor Day was January 15th, 1986. It was a cold morning.
I don't think that is the Labor Day they're referring to.
What is Labor Day?
Labor Day is the first Monday in September.
Oh, okay.
And
that Labor Day.
It is a creation of the labor movement and is dedicated to the social and economic achievements of American workers.
Pretty much it's people like us.
So what's funny is as I was looking this up, I tried to find out who originated Labor Day, and it's been around since the 1800s, but nobody knows who the fuck made this thing. Like, there is like a rumor that this guy...
A bunch of grumpy workers.
Yeah, there's a rumor that this guy, Peter McGuire, who was the general secretary of the Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners...
So like a union.
Yeah, and he was a co-founder of the American Federation of Labor. They thought that he was the one who originally suggested doing it, and it was because... of like how rude people were and things like that. So this like basically sparked this holiday. And that's like what's most widely accepted. But there are other people out there that think Matthew McGuire, who was a machinist, not Peter McGuire, founded the holiday. So there is a lot of controversy on who actually created this holiday. But all you need to know is first Monday in September, hey, if you're not working most retail jobs, you're going to get an extra day off and you're going to get paid for it. So
Yeah,
that's all that really matters.
Just know that if you're working retail, you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Because machinists and people doing labor are the ones giving you this day off. You better recognize.
All right. So the next question is a strange one, and we'll kind of dive into it a little bit more. So, Lee, is Wendy Williams really a man?
I can't believe that people care about something like that. What is the story behind this? Why is Wendy Williams? She's a tall talk show host, black woman, right?
Right, and she has some very strong features, and I do not mean that in a masculine standpoint, but she has a strong jawline, and she's just a well built woman. To be honest,
why is this becoming a thing though?
So I don't know how it started on the internet, but it is this giant conspiracy that they think that Wendy Williams is actually a transgender man, and so it's like been going on for years. And she has tried to squash this rumor multiple times, and then there's I was looking for more information on this, and literally just last week there was another video uploaded by someone that's gotten a ton of hits on it as well. So
you know what it comes. I think it's like two struggles that guys deal with. Okay, so one is I think it's a big woman, and I don't mean big as in like large. I'm saying like she's tall. Yeah. I mean, she's a very tall woman,
right?
And thick, and almost like a Serena Williams. She's a big girl,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And when you're a big girl, and then it isn't like she has small features by any means. You know what I'm saying? I think guys end up finding someone like that attractive, and they're like, she looks kind of mannish, and I think she's hot. And so on the inside of them, they're like, that's a guy.
Yeah.
But really, it's like, you're probably attracted to that person and you feel weird about it. So you're just like, ew, that's a man.
It's like challenging their masculinity.
Yeah.
Like they can't handle it.
Or they can't handle that she's probably bigger than most guys.
Yeah.
You got like some 5'6" white guy that's like, that has to be a dude. No, she's just way bigger than you puss.
She would fuck you up.
Get over it. Yeah. I think it's like the inner insecurity of the 6'2" woman will probably beat the shit out of you. Like, yeah, she beat the shit out of me because it's a fucking guy.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so next question. Who is the next bachelor?
Oh, I totally know who this is. You always know who the next bachelor is going to be off a Facebook post. Whenever there's a long post about someone's relationship being so fucking awesome, that guy's about to be a bachelor.
Well, I think they're referring to the television show.
That's when you know a relationship is over. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Where it's like the relationship that's in the most trouble are the longest Facebook posts that talk great about each other.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever
they're trying to save face.
100%. If I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook and it's just this person is the love of my life and we're here through thick and thin, and though we may have this problem and we may have that problem, but we always make it through. I'm like, soon to be a bachelor.
You know it's a good one too when like they're talking about baby daddy and things like that.
Oh,
and like,
God, it's brutal.
He's the father to my children. And it's like, yeah.
I know it's coming. He's about to be a bachelor. There are people at my work that they will come to my work and say, she is a psycho. She's a piece of shit. She treats me terrible. And then that night on Facebook, it's love my family, love this and that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude.
Let's circle some reality TV into this because I know you love it.
I sure as fuck don't watch The Bachelor.
Yeah, because it's not on VH1 in the 2010s. So
yeah, do I watch the different form of The Bachelor? Yes. Throw in Bret Michaels or Flava Flav. I'll watch that form of The Bachelor all day.
So the runner-up on The Bachelorette, Peter Krause, was a fan favorite, and it is rumored that he is going to be the next bachelor.
He's a handsome bastard.
Yes, he is.
Right? He's like a personal fitness
guy. He's a good-looking dude.
I saw his Instagram. I was looking.
Yeah, we lurked him.
I was looking, and I was a liking.
All right, Lee. Who are millennials?
I think what this is probably like people getting shit talked, and they're like, am I in the group?
Yeah.
And it's, more than likely. If you're listening to this, you're a millennial.
Yeah.
I think it's 17. I don't think it's like a defined actual window, right? But I think it's like 1980 to 2000. So
it's 82 to 2004 is what I found. Yeah.
So if you're 19 to 35-ish, you're in that window. I'm technically a millennial, though I don't feel like I bear the traits. Who are the millennials, though? I don't know. You see a bunch of people walking around with fidget spinners, and they don't want to fucking work, and they listen to K-pop all day. Millennials.
You know what really pisses me off is getting lumped into that group.
Oh my God,
Dude,
I know.
people like they'll like say things about millennials don't work. I'm like, what about me, motherfucker?
Yeah.
I work every day.
Well, you know what it is? They do that with every generation.
Yeah.
That every older generation degrades the generation under them. That always happens. So it's like Generation X, who are supposed to be our parents and people like that. They'd say the same shit about them. Everybody catches that bullshit.
All the baby boomers run the economy.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's just how it is. Everybody who's older says that the new people that are around suck ass, and the new people that suck say the older people are ones that ruined everything for them. That's just how it goes.
All right. Our next question is, how is cheese made?
I have no idea.
Well, luckily, I have a very, very good video here for you to watch on how cheese is made. So we're about to inform you.
The miracle of milk is what it says on the title screen. The art of cheese making. Oh my God, look at all that cheese.
How do they turn milk into cheese?
Most cheese making is done in large vats,
Ew.
where rennet and culture are added to the milk,
Whatever the
which
fuck
is then
that is.
constantly stirred and heated.
Ew.
In just under 30 minutes,
That's a cheese vat.
the rennet and culture causes the milk to separate into curds. These are the solid pieces
Curds
of
and
cheese.
whey.
Exactly.
Oh my
It's called
God.
whey.
Eating her curds and whey.
Whoa, what happens next?
These
What are they
slabs
eating?
of cheddar are being cut and folded.
Grass.
The slabs are then shredded.
Look at this
and
giant
salted.
cheese shredder.
The curds are then placed into steel molds.
Holy shit.
Watch
A
this
hydraulic
motherfucking block
press
come out of here.
squeezes the cheese, compressing it in the steel mold.
Cheese. That's a cheese squeezer.
Whoa.
Blocks of cheese are then vacuum packed. They are then put into storage to let the cheese age,
Son of a
sometimes
bitch.
for over a year.
Cool. I didn't know that.
When the
Continue
cheese
eating our
is
grass.
aged, the blocks are sliced and packaged, ready to go to the store. It takes 11 liters of milk to make just 1 kilogram of cheese.
Wow.
Son of a bitch. I feel smarter already.
There you go. That
Curds and whey.
some information on how to make
You gotta be
cheese.
kidding me. I've always known, but didn't know that I knew.
There you go.
I feel smarter.
All right. Next question. Is pneumonia contagious?
I would think, yeah. Yeah, right?
It is not.
Are you serious? Are you sure? I thought there was different forms of pneumonia.
The most simple answer to the question is pneumonia infectious is no. Pneumonia in itself is not contagious, but the germs that cause it often are.
Right.
Germs and viruses that cause the flu, common cold, or bacterial infections are contagious and can lead to pneumonia.
Oh, okay.
So that's why people think that it is contagious.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm one of those people.
All right.
Knowledge is power.
All right. I would assume that you know the answer to this because you are formerly a non-meat eater.
Yeah.
Are eggs dairy?
No, they're not dairy, you fucking idiots.
So although they are sold in the dairy section,
What is wrong with people? Do you know what dairy means?
it means anything that comes
Made with milk.
exactly.
You fuck.
All right.
Can't believe that was a question. God damn it.
All right, Lee. Why is gas going up?
I would imagine. Okay, I know that because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Right? I mean it's supply and demand type shit.
Well, that and so when I was doing
When
some,
refineries are down and like
Correct.
gas stations, I mean they're gonna shove the price down to the consumer. They're not gonna take the hit on that. So it becomes there's less gas available, therefore it costs more, right?
yeah, so there are a lot of the refineries that are in the Gulf Coast are shut down right now, and that's driving prices up. So
Yeah, I'm sure, man. That whole thing's fucked up.
yeah, it sucks. So it's I know people are going to complain about it, but you have to think about what your situation is compared to the people down
Yeah,
there.
I mean, if I gotta pay more gas just because there's something nuts going on down south, shit, I mean, who gives a fuck if I pay more? I wish that they would make proceeds of it go to at least some kind of relief fund or something. They're just kind of like, hey, we're gonna make our money, so
Yeah.
fuck you. It should almost be, hey, instead of making as much, we'll pass along, some of the money to the Red Cross or some shit. Like, just leaving them without help just kind of blows.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
does.
know that there's some people helping out down there. Not people, but certain organizations that are funded, but you almost wish that you could give them more.
Yeah, absolutely agree. All right. Why are yawns so contagious?
I don't know the answer to why yawns are contagious, but all I can do is throw more onto this to at least make it cool. You know who else suffers from yawns being contagious? Check this out. Hippos, pigs, snakes, chimps, and sharks.
That's fucking crazy.
They get it too.
That's
sharks.
How do these sharks yawn?
A bunch of sharks hanging out with each other, and a shark yawns, and they all get the yawns. That's fucked up. I thought that was so weird. Or a bunch of snakes. Like, or if you were underwater and a shark's getting ready to bite your fucking leg off, just start yawning your ass off.
Oh my God.
Everyone always says punch it in the nose. Stick your hand in its eye. Don't do that.
Hey.
Just flap your arms around your face so it looks at your face and just... and then they won't bite you.
You heard it here first, folks.
We're going to save a life.
Best shark defense, and hippos kill a lot of people too.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with a hippo.
Start yawning, okay?
Team Fiona.
What is hilarious about this question is, so I pulled an article on this that was on CBS News. This was just from this week, September 1st, okay?
I just looked at that picture of that guy
and it made you
yawning. I about wanted to yawn. Dead serious.
So the title of this article is...
God, get that picture away from me.
Why are yawns contagious? New research finds clues. So I start reading this article, right, to try and find stuff out. The first paragraph says, the contagiousness of yawns may be rooted in primitive brain reflexes. And then it goes through to say that they did this study that examined 36 adults, and they looked at video clips of people yawning, and they started yawning.
Yeah, no shit.
Then they go through here, and they say, we think it's important to figure this out because we think it will give us more... It will give us more information on epilepsy, dementia, autism, and Tourette syndrome. And then it goes on and literally just says, yep, that's pretty much all we know.
They don't know shit.
Yeah. New clues. Yawns cause yawns.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Well, just know you got no... well, then you know what then? Then you're welcome for telling you what other things suffer from yawns. We don't know shit about the yawns, but we know who does. Oh, but I said hippos, pigs, snakes, chimps, and sharks, right? So all those are cool. But... would there be anything cuter than a bunch of baby pigs all getting the yawns?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
I
don't know if that video exists out there, but find it.
I am a fan of some baby pigs.
I want to see a bunch of pigs yawning.
I almost just yawned.
I'm going to make an advertisement that's a bunch of pigs yawning. And it says RantWorthy above it.
I think that's a perfect
Boom.
picture.
Next shirt.
Yep, we'll get that in the future. All right. Why are there bumps on my nipples?
You have an abusive lover. Or are you breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Dead serious. Having a child, I'm pretty sure that's absolutely normal. I think they get bumps because it's supposed to mildly guide like your baby to know where to feed.
Yeah, and actually, they're called Montgomery glands, and they actually secrete oil too. When you're breastfeeding, I think it's supposed to keep them from getting like chapped and things.
It's like Braille for booby lovers. Yeah. Oh, there's the good stuff.
All right, Lee. What is Watergate?
Watergate, oh shit. Watergate was the whole Nixon and all those guys, the inside shit. So it was them. They broke into the DNC, and which is in like a complex that was called Watergate, the Watergate offices. And I think they were like bugging it pretty much to see if they're talking shit, what their plans were, the whole thing. It was just kind of like a conspiracy, and a shitload of people got charged for it, and it's pretty simplistic.
Well, and thankfully, Forrest Gump was talking about the lights in the room across when he was in his hotel across the way, and he couldn't sleep, and luckily because of that, we caught him. So Forrest Gump saw the lights.
Thanks, Forrest.
Couldn't sleep, called the police.
People call him worthless and dumb.
See what he did?
Little they know.
All right, Lee. Are mermaids real?
Fuck no, they're not real.
I beg to differ.
This is so stupid.
I have some video footage that might change your mind.
Okay.
All right. Can you spin your head over to the video board?
Yep. All right, I'm here.
All right. This is going to play through a couple times, so you'll get this is from a legitimate documentary.
Okay.
It's on Animal Planet. It's on Animal Planet. That's a legit source.
Mermaid on submersible. Okay. What is that? Is that a tail? My stomach hurts right now. Get the fuck out of here.
Former NOAA biologist Dr. Paul Robertson and joined by Dr. Torsten
Look at those guys. They're legit.
He was the lead geologist on a submarine crew that recorded on March 6th of this year the astonishing footage we just watched. And I'd like to start out with some reactions. Dr. Paul Robertson.
I'd really like to see what's on that second camera.
I'm glad. I think we all do. Our viewers at home, too, would like to see that. We're going to show you that right now. Let's take a look.
More footage.
Do all doctors wear a faint shade of brown?
It's in the dress code. Look how terrified he looks.
Get the fuck out of here.
Can we play that back, please?
One more time.
Can we get the footage of that back up
This
there?
ain't real.
One more time.
Both cameras. First and
It's
second,
Animal
same
Planet,
camera,
sir.
together.
It's
Great.
Animal Planet.
Take a look again.
What kind of agenda do they have? Here's the split screen.
So the guy watching. Why is he smiling?
Got it.
Dr. Robertson, is this the creature that you and your team found in South Africa?
From what?
Anyway. Yay or nay?
No way that's real. This is fake, dude. Get the hell out of here. This is too. No, come on.
Okay.
Mermaids aren't real.
In all seriousness, if you want to have a ball of a time, go on YouTube, search for real mermaids caught on tape. There are probably 6,000 videos out there of people recording mermaid footage out there. I am 100% serious. It is all over, and it is absolutely hilarious.
No thanks.
Where are your kidneys located?
Like above your waist, kind of like right above and behind the love handles.
Yeah, all you have to do is have somebody punch you in your kidneys one time, and you'll know exactly where they are because it'll hurt when you pee for a week.
Yeah, if you ever watched like Hoist Gracie back in the day, where he would have guard around somebody and he would heel kick them in the body, that's where your kidneys are, right there.
There you go. All right, Lee. Is it possible for the Super Bowl to end in a tie?
No game. I don't know. Why is that even a question? No normal game can end in oh, yeah, it can, actually.
During the regular season,
yeah,
it
you
can
end in a tie. Damn, that's right. But no fucking way.
Yeah, so there are some slight modifications. I'll run through these really quick because I actually didn't know.
So you know the answer to this?
Yes, I did not know the specifics of it, so I did some research. The rules are largely the same in the Super Bowl with some slight modifications. Obviously, the Super Bowl can't end in a tie, so if the teams are still deadlocked at the end of the period, they go on to a second overtime round. Play will continue for as many periods as it requires to determine a winner. Each period has a 2-minute warning, and teams get 3 timeouts per half. If it somehow goes to a third overtime period, there is no halftime intermission, but there is another coin toss to decide possession, and timeouts will reset. If things get really wacky and we are still tied after 4 overtime periods, there's one final coin toss, and play will go on until we get a winner.
Damn.
So you literally just go.
They're like, until people just start falling over from exhaustion, they're like, keep going.
It is important to note that there has never been a Super Bowl go into overtime.
It's a war of attrition. Really? Wow. That's interesting. Huh. So the answer was no, but now we know more.
Yeah, there you go. A little more informed. So next question. Are aliens real?
I'm
really
so hard?
surprised that this did not pop up last week. I gotta imagine that this is one of those questions that is
people are always looking up.
Yeah.
Are aliens real? Well, it's kind of tough. It's like, what kind of aliens do you mean? Like aliens that visit here and do things? Doubtful. What are you considering an alien? Something that is, living outside of the Earth? You've got to think in billions and billions and billions of galaxies and stars and planets and blah, 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 blah. Is there something else living out there which would be considered an alien? It would be really hard to think that the answer is no.
I absolutely agree.
So, yeah.
The universe goes on
likely.
in every direction and infinitely. To think that we are so special that we're the only intelligent life that exists in the entire universe, to me, seems ignorant. So.
Yeah. I mean, did we just hit the cosmic lottery where you can only live here and that is it? That seems
maybe
unlikely.
maybe there's another Lee and Ryan sitting down to do a podcast
God.
in a bunker in a galaxy far, far away.
It's possible.
It is
Maybe
possible.
we'll talk one day and we'll interview them.
That would be amazing. All right. What are the 7 wonders of the world?
Shit. I don't know many of them. I wrote down which ones I thought I knew. So, easy one that everybody knows. The Pyramid of Giza, right? Okay, there's one. I'm going to use my fingers. The Lighthouse of Alexandria.
Correct.
I know that one. The Temple of Artemis.
Correct.
There's a statue of Zeus.
Yep.
I don't know. Where is that?
At Olympia.
Okay, statue of Zeus. So that's 4. There's 3 more.
Yeah, so you have the Colossus of Rhodes,
What the? I don't even know what the fuck that is.
the Hanging Gardens of Babylon,
Oh, okay.
and the mausoleum at Halicarnassus.
I wonder how those things even got picked.
I don't know.
I only remember those because they were always cool sounding to me.
Yeah.
Like all my, like the Hanging Gardens. You know, those things sound cool. Great Pyramid, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, Temple of Artemis, a statue of Zeus. I remember all the cool sounding ones.
Yeah.
Forgot all the dumb ones.
Yeah, so that's the 7 wonders. I think only a couple of them are still exist.
Those are boring.
Yeah. All right, Lee. Why are cats afraid of
Oh
cucumbers?
my god. I have no idea, but it's so funny. If people haven't seen that, cats are terrified of cucumbers. There are videos that are so hilarious.
Yes.
There's compilation videos of cats being terrified of cucumbers. They're so funny.
So I have a theory on this that I have gotten from an animal behaviorist, Jill Goldman. While it could be that cats would be afraid of anything that would be able to sneak up on them, she told National Geographic that it's possible that cats' first instinct is to assume that the cucumber is a snake, which can be a deadly predator. So if you're throwing cucumbers at your cat, they probably think it's a snake, and they probably hate you.
Oh my gosh. I love that. The videos are so good.
Oh, yes,
so
they are.
I never realized why they wouldn't like it. I didn't know whatsoever. But I guess it makes sense. Man, how many instances are cats getting fucked up by snakes to where
Dude, I don't know.
hereditarily that's just getting carried on from cat to cat to cat?
They're like,
Jesus.
fuck this shit.
God damn.
All right, is Santa real?
Yes, and the quicker you know that, the better your Christmas will be.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, and the quicker you know that, the sooner you won't get made fun of.
Exactly.
Isn't that the worst thing ever? You have that one asshole in like the 5th grade who's still talking about Santa, and you just never live that
Dude,
down.
it's funny because like 4th and 5th grade, it's hilarious. Those are like the transitional years.
Yeah.
It's like slowly but surely you start to figure it out. Like everybody gets this evidence, and you have like this mind. That's like one of the first mind blowing realities as as a child. Like, oh my god, my parents are lying to me right now.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember it's like that would be a good shit talking point when you're in 4th or 5th grade too. Like you're dirty, you're poor, you live in a trailer park. You probably still believe in fucking Santa. And you're like, no, I don't believe in Santa.
Yeah,
It's fake.
That kid just crushed your world.
Yeah. He's on the bus. Like I just always thought it was real.
All right, last question.
The most trolly question of all time. Who Googles this?
I swear to you, this is exactly how this was worded. Why are old people so old and short?
Remember earlier the question was like, who are millennials? They asked questions like this. Why are old people so old and short? I don't know, but there is a lot of evidence of this.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of anecdotal evidence of this. I remember my grandma, she was 6'2", and now she's about 4'9". So you're right.
Yeah.
My grandma is 80 years old and about 4'9". I don't know what happened to the other half of her, but God love her.
I felt like an idiot when I was Googling this, but I did find out that most people shrink about an inch throughout the day, and you actually decompress at night when you sleep.
And then eventually you just stop decompressing. You just stay that small.
That way. So, but yeah, that is the questions of the week.
Oh, God, I love it. Didn't you say that there was some controversy last week about Brand New putting out an album?
Yeah, it's been over the last few weeks. So I wanted to play. First of all, I'm super excited about this.
Because you're a Brand New lover.
Yes, I love it.
I'm a fan of one album, but yeah.
Let me play a couple clips out of here, out of a couple songs. So.
Andy Griffin shit.
Yeah.
As we glide over whatever we know to be over forever. I really hope the shame is less.
So what I was super happy about is this is,
What we feel
especially the first 5 songs on this, is very brand new still.
just a crash. No sense in fighting it now. You had me caught in the headlights. You were running me down.
So the big controversy with
Pretty
this,
good so far.
Yeah, I love it.
It's not bad.
So the big controversy with this, it's Brand New is one of those bands that there are a ton of people that love this band, and because of that, there are equally the same amount of people who love to just hate on it just because
Right.
it's brand
Just
new.
to go against the grain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Like, this is the band that all you guys love. I hate them.
I can't stand that.
Right,
That just
right.
drives me insane.
They got some incredible albums.
Yes, absolutely. And so what they do is, so look, this is one of the this band has one of the biggest cult followings of
Oh,
all time.
Yeah.
I mean, when they put out a tour and they put tickets on sale, they will sell out a lot of times in under 10 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. I've waited in virtual lines for 6 hours before to get Brand New tickets.
So what's the controversy over what happened? I don't
So
understand.
what happened was their band is ending next year, okay? So they're going to stop touring, they're going to stop playing shows, and they have been advertising this album that's coming out for the last year probably. It was supposed to come out in October of last year. They pushed it back. They put it out this year. When they did the original release, they made this like kind of like really vague post about it 2 weeks ago, and it was a pre-order for a special limited edition version of this record. Okay.
Okay.
And you and I both collect vinyl,
Yep.
so we know how this is, and I think that's kind of where it differs because people just don't get it. So they put out this album. I think it was limited to, I want to say it was limited to under like 500 copies or something like that. And I know that I saw the post less than an hour after it was posted, and I tried to buy one, and you couldn't buy it.
Okay.
I think it was listed at $40 or $45, I believe. You got the digital download with it, so on and so forth. And so it sold out. But in the comments, people were complaining about how much Brand New was charging for it, and they were like, Brand New, it's just a money grab, so on and so forth. But to me, if you have something that people want,
Yep.
it drives me insane that people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't make money.
No, you know what it is though? It is, if you're not hip to record selling, this is the smartest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like me hearing about this, I wasn't even familiar with this whatsoever. I had no clue. But what they do is they would usually sell this for $20, and the fact that it's limited, it will be on eBay next week for $50. I've seen it happen so many times. They come out with something, you're the first one in line to snatch it up. You get it for $20, $25. It's on eBay, $50. I can't tell you how many records I bought of re-releases of bands that I loved or special edition stuff that I bought for $50, that if I would have just caught it in the record store 2 weeks earlier, I would have got it for $25. So they're pretty much saying, we're going to cut out everybody getting, just because you're at the front of the line, you sell it and double your money, we're going to get that money.
I watch people...
You're the one putting out the music.
Yeah.
You should make the money.
Absolutely.
Not just because, hey, I'm first in line, I deserve this money. Do I? Or is it you that deserves the money? Being a record collector, I absolutely understand them doing this because they almost kill the resale.
Yeah.
The people that are buying this for $50 probably legitimately just want this record.
Right.
Rather than when it was $20, you're probably going to sell 3 to 6 per person because they're just smart.
And they're going to flip it.
Yeah, someone's just going to get in there really quick and flip it and then make money, and that sucks.
And there's still a percentage of people who are going to flip that. I guarantee when that...
It's going to be less, though.
It ships in October, and I guarantee you when that comes out, when you go online, you're going to see that on there, and it's going to be it's going to be at least triple what they paid for
Yeah.
it. I mean, and we've all done that. Like if you are a
Of
record
course.
collector,
I bought two of everything.
yeah, exactly.
I always
So-
am like one for myself and one to flip. I've bought records like that for 15 years.
Yeah, so it's people are just silly on that, and then the following week they released the pre-order for the regular record. It was $10 cheaper. You still got the digital download, and here's what I actually like about this, and it still pissed people off. So I pre-ordered the regular version of the record, and I got the digital download. Well, I got to have the digital download and have the music 2 weeks before it hit Spotify. So I've got the record now, and I get to listen to it before everyone else. Which to me, like I was going to buy the record anyway, and now I get you send me the digital download link, and I get to listen to it before everyone else. That's awesome.
So why are they mad about that?
People were upset because they didn't put it on Spotify to listen to.
And it comes right back to money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they just want to make their money. Stop making it to where we're making less everywhere. It's like sell our record for cheap and then you make the money. Put our music on Spotify. Spotify makes the money. You know what I mean? It's like, you mean they're just trying to actually make a living?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand, like, people bitching about that. You're going to spend the same amount of money. You personally, as the consumer, are probably going to spend roughly the same.
And you know this from going to shows. Like, if you go to a show and a band has their record there, I'm going to buy it from them directly if I like the band versus buying it online.
I want them to make money.
Yeah, because I want that money to go to them. They're making pennies on the dollar when you buy it from iTunes or from Spotify. You're listening on there. If you guys do some research on how much money people make on downloads on Spotify,
it's sickening.
It is. I was going to say, it's disgusting.
It showed like how Taylor Swift or someone had millions of downloads and she had made like 20 grand from it.
Yeah.
And people be like, oh, well, she's rich. Who gives a shit? Hey, when you're trying to make money as like an artist, you'll take all the money you can get. So then to just write them off like, hey, you got enough. You know what I mean? When you got enough, it feels like enough. When you don't have enough, you need every penny you can. And guys like Brand New, I doubt that they're filthy rich.
Yeah, Jesse Lacey, he's given you 5 albums, and I would say, in my personal, I know a lot of people like Daisy, but in my opinion, 4 of those albums are fantastic, 3 of them being great. Does he not deserve to live comfortably if he wants to end his musical career? Come on now, let's just be done with that.
I mean, this many years of doing really well and putting out albums that people love and being as big as they are, I mean, you should be a successful artist who's living fucking comfy.
Enjoy the music.
Makes total sense.
Enjoy the music. If you don't like it, don't buy it, and
who gives a shit?
And appreciate it. So
yeah, why complain? I don't get it. You got my trailer, dog?
Dude, I have got your trailer.
Man, I know a lot of people are happy about this. I cannot tell. There are people that were running up to me at work because I feel like it came out in the middle of a day, and everyone's like, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" Everyone was freaking out over Super Troopers. I know my wife loves this movie. I don't know. Were you a fan of the original movie?
Oh, hell yeah. I love that movie.
You love it. You have not even seen this yet.
I have not. I'm super excited.
All right, let's go. The ending is beautiful, too.
Seriously, cut the crap, guys. I'm not a rookie anymore. Get these off me.
Oh, my God.
Rabbit, it's not like we want to shave your balls. Thorny, do you want to shave his balls?
Me? Hell no.
Foster?
No way.
You don't want to shave his balls, do you, Farva?
Hell yeah, I do. No. No.
God damn it, we gotta get out of there! Come on!
Bullshit, who ordered these? I can't feel my tits.
License and registration?
Aren't you the two that pulled me over before?
Beg pardon?
How are you Mounties now? Or should I say Meounties?
Hang on. Do you really not remember this guy? You just fucking with him.
Yeah, I have no idea who he is.
You know, I heard everything you said.
Son of a bitch. We've been doing that for years.
And that's so good. I feel like the reason that's super funny is that's like the joke that everybody says now.
Yeah.
Like when someone whispers and they hear them and they always say, you know I can hear you, right? And I love that. He's like, son of a bitch, we've been doing that for years. I thought that was so good. God damn it. I'm excited for that movie. I would imagine when it actually comes out, people are going to be freaking out.
Yeah, I agree.
That's another like cult following kind of thing.
Another play for Marvin Gaye.
God damn it. Added millions a week. I love that it has the lyrics up there and it says "Don'tcha," like DONTCHA. Honey, honey, yeah. Would you be my baby? Ooh. Let's get into it. UFC Rotterdam yesterday. It's weird. I feel like we talk about this every single time. It's always the cards that you don't give a shit, where all of a sudden there's 7 knockouts, multiple submissions. The main fight is awesome. Doesn't that always happen?
Yeah.
So weird. The only problem with this one is it's all like kind of up and coming people or people with no fighter profiles. It's kind of rough to. It's like almost going to a local show. Like, yeah, was there a bunch of knockouts? Was there some cool fights? Was there cool submissions? Yeah, but the problem is you just don't know who half of them are.
Here's the funny part about this. So we always pull the fight card up and we're looking at it so we can reference the fights as we go along. There are 6 fighters on here who don't even have a picture.
That is nuts.
Yeah. So, and like,
including the co-main.
Yeah, we watch. I mean, we watch.
And even the third last fight.
I know.
Oh my god.
We watch a lot of fights, and there were a lot of names last night I just did not recognize at all.
Yeah, you can't know all of these. I mean, it is very specific to being for Rotterdam. At least, though, the thing is, what I liked, the main event absolutely came through on being awesome, though. Alexander Volkov versus Stefan Struve. That was a sick fight, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Stefan Struve, isn't it weird? I feel like he's a mild front runner for being a big guy. You know, usually it's like always the athletic guys that are like huge and maybe they have one great round in them. He seems like a front runner. I feel like he's a guy that always looks good in the first. He gets about halfway through the second, and then he just kind of trails off. And if you can stand there with him, you'll eventually tee off on him. And that's kind of how this fight went.
The first probably 1.5 rounds, he looked fantastic.
Murdering.
I thought Volkov was going out.
Too.
Yeah.
Did you see Stefan Struve was landing those uppercuts?
Oh yeah.
Underneath the right crosses of Volkov. I mean, just destroying uppercuts. He had Volkov's head staring at the lights over and over, and then he was doing flying knees, doing teep kicks. Struve was really showing like a multitude of different kind of attacks. It was really nice. Like, I was really impressed. I thought it looked first round. If you watch that fight, it looks like Stefan is going to just continue to steamroll him.
Right.
And then, second round, it's like all of a sudden Alexander Volkov starts landing a little bit more punches. He's staying in there. And every time Stefan starts pressing, he starts paying for it. And then Stefan ended up kind of being on his heels. And Alexander was just walking him down. Round ends. Then it goes to the third round. And he put it on him.
What was interesting about this is that you knew it was coming to an end when Struve was in that second round. He started just covering up and just letting him tee off on him. I mean, it was like 3 and 4 piece combos without an answer at all, no movement at all, and he's just standing on the cage with his cage or the back to his back to the cage, trying to cover up and work his way through it.
Volkov really showed a lot of poise in those situations, though, because he didn't only headhunt, if you remember, because he was on the cage. He went body, head. Then he would go to the head a couple times and get Stefan to raise his arms, and then he'd go down and hook to the body. It was really nice. I mean, it was a great fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Though Stefan has been on the losing end of some really, really bad knockouts, these are the kind of fights that you wouldn't mind losing as much. When it's a battle, they both took a lot of punishment. I mean, Alexander Volkov, after this fight, looked like he got hit in the face with a meat grater. I mean, he looked fucked up. Stefan put a beating on him before he got beat. Those are the kind of fights that kind of hurt your feelings, you know what I mean? Because he was doing so well. He was so close to probably getting at least a decision win. And then Volkov just steps on the gas third round and just takes him out.
What do you think about Struve's career? I mean, he's a lot of wins over notable guys.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's like
he's all over the place.
That's what it's so strange. He beats guys he's not supposed to beat, and then loses fights he shouldn't lose. And that's like the MO of his career. Like,
it really is.
It's so strange to me how he has a win over Stipe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
he finished Stipe.
Yeah. How strange is that he just he has these wins and he shows signs of greatness, and then all of a sudden it's just like then he just doesn't show up for a fight. It's really weird to me. How do you? I mean, I don't know what you do with him. Like, you can't. He's good to have around, but maybe he's just that gatekeeper.
Yeah, I was just going to say, unfortunately, he's kind of become the gatekeeper. But it's weird though, because like you're saying, he will beat guys above,
Yeah.
and then kind of lose to guys below. So it's really confusing. You can never give him too much steam.
Yeah.
For that reason, it's really tough. I mean, matchup wise, what do you do for him now? It's kind of hard. It'd be like if Derrick Lewis lost his next fight. Do you put him versus Derrick Lewis?
Yeah.
And it's hard to know what you do with him. I don't even know a matchup now that's even interesting because it kind of puts him at the bottom of the pile on heavyweight, but he's not bad enough to really cut by any means because he's in these fights. It isn't like he's getting completely outclassed. It's tough. But then you see Alexander Volkov, and he's been having some good fights, and he's a big guy. And, I mean, though I think it's kind of goofy that we were advertising this fight for, like, tall guy versus tall guy. You know? But there is something to be said about tall guys that can kickbox really fucking well. I mean, for me, it almost became even more interesting. I kind of want to see Volkov versus another contender now. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him versus, like, an old guy. I would like to see him versus Ngannou or somebody.
Yeah. Struve was working with somebody new, wasn't he? It was...
I'm not too sure.
Because his striking looked different.
I'm really not positive, only because I feel like with the McGregor thing, all my eggs were in one basket.
Yeah.
So I really did not give this card probably as much attention as, I wouldn't say as it deserved because, I mean, it's a very, very light card. But I didn't get to watch much lead up or anything like that for this fight. But I know it was a great fight. If you get a chance, if anything, watch it on YouTube.
A lot of great jiu-jitsu on this card too. The Leon Edwards Brian Barberena fight. There was a lot of great groundwork there.
Barberena is very good on the ground. He's kind of a dogfight kind of guy. You know what I mean? And what sucks for him is he's the guy that originally derailed the Sage Northcutt training.
Yeah.
And went on after that to then beat an Ultimate Fighter guy, and then now to kind of lose to a guy that most people don't really know who Leon Edwards is. It kind of is going to bury Barberena.
Got his back taken in 2 of 3 rounds, and basically just rode him out those 2-3. I mean, he got beat up pretty bad in those 2 rounds. So then we also had probably the other most notable is going to be
Michel.
Yeah, in his he had finished a north-south choke. It's the second one that he has finished. I think it was only the 6th in UFC history.
Oh, really? I thought it was the first. Okay.
So he is the first to have multiple north-south finishes. So he has 2 north-south finishes. He finished I'm gonna forget who it was. He finished another one, and then but he has 2 of the 6 ever finished in UFC history.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
You know how it is too. Like north-south chokes, it's like you either know how to do them or are very good at it, or you probably never touched one a day in your life.
Yeah, you have an amazing north-south choke, and I've had it put on me by multiple people, and I feel like when there's like a threshold when you know somebody is good at one. People can choke you out with a north-south choke, but when somebody feels like they're choking you unconscious and breaking your jaw simultaneously, that's how you know they have a good north-south choke, and that's what it feels like with you. I feel like either my jaw is going to snap in half or I'm going to go unconscious any second. So, and what was interesting about his is I told you this morning.
Yeah, we do it completely different.
Yeah, I gotta think it's just because he's
his
such
lats
a muscly dude.
Yeah,
he didn't drop at all.
Yeah, on his hip. Yeah,
no, he was 100%. He was still very over top, and you saw him. He did stack his hands the same way you did.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So he came through, but instead of dropping his shoulder to the mat and really getting deep in on the neck, he just was big enough that he basically kept his face right over top of the shoulder and then stacked the hands, and it was like very quick tap.
I call that the Spider-Man kiss.
Yeah, it was.
You go face to face with him, like the old school Spider-Man where Tobey Maguire is upside down and he kisses that girl underneath the mask. That's what I call that, north-south choke. Well, anybody who's not familiar, the north-south choke, it's kind of like a front choke, from being upside down. You'll be in side control. You go towards the head and go around it, mild guillotine-ish, and drop back and stack your hands to choke them. But some people do it differently than others. Some guys, like he dropped back flat, where for me, I'm kind of a face the hip kind of guy or displace the arms. And when I go around the neck, I slam my lat to the other arm. So my one arm is going around the far artery, and then my lat is taking out the near side artery. So when I kind of get a good bite on it, then I go backwards. But he just like mushed his body right over top of it, which was really interesting. I've never done it like that. I got to wonder if his size aids in that because his arms are gigantic.
Yeah.
For me personally, I always had to do a really good pinch with my lat and my arm. And then, yeah, we definitely finished the same way, though, because I like to stack my wrist, and which is, not my invention. I got that from Jeff Munson. That's how he does it. So he stacks his wrist. I used to do the way Marcelo does, where he can just put his hands down and kind of gable grip them, but it became very squeezy, and I didn't like burning out my arms, like, oh, I think I have this, and squeeze the shit out of somebody's neck from north-south. I didn't really like that, so I started doing he called it like stacking dimes. So I would stack my wrist on my wrist, and then you kind of duck your shoulder in, and it usually ends most people.
He used the gable grip to pull it through, but he definitely stacked wrists right after.
And that's what I always say too. Yeah. So I'll tell somebody, like, slam the lat down, get your little bullshit grip to get back in the right position, and you're just using the pressure. I usually use an S grip, so I'll S grip my hands underneath them. I get back into position, and then I roll my hands through and stack the dimes. And usually the reason you're stacking your wrist, too, brings their neck up higher. So when it brings their neck up higher, when I duck in my shoulder, there's just not much room in there for somebody's neck to be. So you end up taking an artery with one, taking an artery on the other side with your lat, and kind of crushing their esophagus. And I come in so hard with the pinch with my lat, that's usually what puts a lot of pressure on people's jaws. And yeah, sometimes I get taps from people just saying, like, that just hurt my fucking jaw so bad.
Yeah, like I said, it damn near breaks your jaw on top of the choke. So,
and it's a field choke too. I tell you what, anybody who gets really good at north-south, it is not like an arm bar. It's not like a leg lock. That's just like you feel the position, like, oh, I have it. It is locked in because I'm here and this is locked in and I have it. North-south chokes are not the same way. Yep. It is very feel. You get used to, like, it's an odd feeling to be like, oh, when the chin is touching a certain part of my armpit and I feel their face on the lower part of my lat, I know I have it. You know what I mean? That's a very weird way to explain to somebody how you have it.
Well, you're way off to the side, so when it's like you would think you would want to stay more over top of them, like you would to control that, but you really got to dive that shoulder in there if you're not a big guy like he is. So.
Right.
Let's move on to some strange stuff with Jon Jones.
Yeah.
So, look, it came out this week that Jon Jones passed his test the night of UFC 214.
Right, because they're saying he failed the night before.
Correct.
But he passed the night after.
So the timeline goes that he passed 2 tests early in July.
Yep.
He failed the night before.
Weigh-in night.
Correct. And then passed the night of the fight.
Right.
How the hell does this happen?
I did find some clarification.
Where do we go from here?
Yep.
I need more information because I was so confused by this.
I got you, and I got everybody else because I was so confused because I'm like, pass, fail, pass, fail. It was pissing me off because I'm like, okay, now this is way too muddy. Clear. It is actually not muddy at all.
Okay.
And I can explain it really easy. Apparently, the one, I don't even know why they put out the information. I would imagine Jon Jones's management put it out to muddy the water slightly.
Right.
And honestly, it's not muddy at all. As soon as you get this bit of information. The one that he passed, fight night, is a blood test. That blood test does not test for T-ball.
Oh,
period.
Gotcha.
It's that simple. That test doesn't even test for that thing. He failed the night before something that was in a urinalysis.
Gotcha.
The T-ball, we'll call it, because it's got a big long name and who gives a shit. T-ball, you only check in urine. So it's really that simple. If they did a urine test that night, I would assume it probably would fail also.
So more than likely, it doesn't change anything.
It's not going to change anything whatsoever.
Gotcha. Because honestly, all the articles I read on it were very, very confusing. They're like showing dates and everything was really unclear. It was very strange.
Yeah, apparently it only shows up in urine, so this doesn't change anything whatsoever. If anything, it almost shows that is kind of the clear path to why you don't get caught. It's like if he didn't get caught on that urine and then got blood test the next day and passed everything, that's how you would have never got caught. So it seems like there's only a certain window that you can get caught, and a cycle might have been done too late. You know what I mean? To where it got caught in the urine. But you never know. It might be a thing that you take earlier in the week, 2 days later, it doesn't show up in your pee, but you're still getting the effects of it for like a week or something like that. I'm hearing different sources from different outlets on podcasts and things say that there's a fast acting agent to all this and it'll be out of your pee and within 24 hours. And then it looks like that just didn't happen.
Okay.
Chael Sonnen's given an opinion on it, saying that if you're getting caught with this, you're more likely doing a whole bunch of shit, and he would kind of know. But it's and if anything, it's like it put a wrinkle in the whole thing, but honestly, not a wrinkle that's going to help him any. I think this still comes back to he's just going to be seen as a cheater now.
All right, let's touch on Rory McDonald and Robbie Lawler real quick, and then we'll end on a good story.
Yep.
So for Rory didn't ask me anything on Reddit this week, and he said that he was convinced that Robbie Lawler was using performance-enhancing drugs on their fight at UFC 189. My favorite fight of all time.
Mine too, and that's why when I was reading this, I was like, "Stop!
Yeah.
Just don't even
sour grapes,
please." Well, and I get it from that. I'm taking it from that was my wedding night.
Yeah.
First of all, that was my wedding night, and how dare you try to take that fight from me? That was Robbie Lawler is one of my favorite fighters of all times. That happened on my wedding night. So our wedding gets done early. We made our wedding early so that we could watch fights that night. That's how ridiculous we are. And I mean, we're like going through the cards and unwrapping gifts from everybody. We just got done with our wedding while we're watching like the prelims to UFC 189. It was so awesome. And we get to watch this fight that was unbelievably epic. And you're just hoping that Robbie comes out the winner on the other side so that you can be like, wow, this legendary fight will always give to Robbie Lawler. You know, it's going to be so cool. And so to muddy the water on that, like it's done already. To even talk about it is dumb. Excuses on why it happened is dumb. Because honestly, it's like you both took so much punishment. You guys both lasted through unbelievable things that I don't know why one person would think the other one was on something. You know what I mean? It's like if Robbie was on them, then you had to be on them too.
Well,
because
funny that you say that, because in true Robbie Lawler fashion, after the fact, Robbie Lawler immediately wrote back on social media and said, I'm convinced Rory McDonald was on PEDs during the fight.
Exactly. Well, and the thing is, I wonder if that's like a mild admission of guilt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I was on them, but we were with each other the entire time, so you must have been on them too.
So that was pretty funny, but just a little touch on that. So we'll see. I mean, you don't even fight in the same organization anymore. Yeah. I don't understand why you even talk about that.
I'm not hating on Rory McDonald. The thing is somebody asked him that, so it isn't like he brought it up. It isn't like he's the one putting out this news. It isn't like he's trying to tweet this randomly. I've never heard this till now. But someone says, hey, you know, with all the PED things going on, do you think Robbie was on PEDs at 189? I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like you're baiting someone to talk about something, and when he answers it, it becomes the big fucking thing. So whoever asked him that question is a mild troll.
Yeah.
And should be probably a reporter.
They got what they wanted.
Yeah.
All right, so let's end on a good story. So in light of Hurricane Harvey and everything that's been going on down in Houston, Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast, has been taking time to go and try to help people down there as much as possible. He estimates he's helped over 100 people in Hurricane Harvey in his rescue efforts. We've seen lots of pictures of him around going
There's
through
videos too.
Yeah, it is very cool. I mean, I got goosebumps right now just looking at it. I mean, when you have somebody who's giving back to the community, whether he's a UFC fighter or not, it's always cool to see that. He didn't ask for the press that he got on it. He's been questioned a lot about it, and he's been really humble and is just trying to help people as much as possible. So I thought it was very cool. So he has quoted in this, talking to ESPN, where he said, "First of all, me and my wife was watching the news, and we heard that the officers are not going to be going out. The only way that they were going to be going out is in life or death situations." Lewis said, "I seen that, and I really didn't like that, so I went out and tried to help as many people as I possibly can." And he said that he thought he helped over 100 people. Last night we heard that Beaumont got hit pretty bad too. They're a few miles away from Houston. A couple of buddies of mine right now, we are cooking, we are barbecuing, getting everything prepared to head out that way.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I already love that guy because he's a hilarious personality. If you have not heard his interviews on MMA Hour and everywhere else, he's so funny.
Yes, he is.
He's so candid.
His Instagram is great, too.
His Twitter and Instagram are absolutely hilarious. So the guy is really funny. He's also kind of a go out on your shield kind of guy, too. You know, he's not just losing shitty fights. He's kind of like he's going to knock somebody out or get knocked out, and I love that about him. On top of that, helping people here. it's like all around, it seems like an awesome guy. And what he posted this on his Instagram the other day. He said, "I love the city of Houston, and I'm proud to call it my home. In addition to the rescue efforts that I participated in, I'm so proud to partner with the UFC to donate $10,000 to the relief efforts. It's an honor to be able to give back to the city that has given me so much. Hashtag Houston Strong."
That's amazing.
It was awesome. So, yeah, big shout out to Derrick Lewis. That's just so awesome. Before we go in, another thing too, last week, and I don't know if this does anything for you, Ryan, but they started Tough 26. I know you're not going to randomly just be watching, but what's cool about this season is it's the 125-pound women, and at the end of it is going to be a champion. So that's
very cool.
They sucked me back in randomly because at least it means something. I like when the tournament means like a title challenger, or it's going to be an actual person who gets the title. This is how we got the 115 division, and the 115 division has been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that division's been so much fun, and this is just going to be the same thing. Girls that are maybe too small at 115, too big for 115. Now they can go up to 125. Girls that are smaller that are fighting at 135. Now they can come down. I think we're going to actually end up gaining just another really credible weight class.
We'll end up
I'm excited.
seeing. I mean, it's really going to be. You're going to see a lot of people who are going to be in that weight class too. So it's a little different than just whatever. So
yeah, because whoever wins this, though they will win and probably become a champion, you're going to get probably 5 to 7 people that are going to be in the UFC that will become normal people nowadays.
Right, exactly.
And last week, Roxanne Matafari won by TKO in the first round. So she's been on a nice little tear over in Invicta and now continuing to win in the Ultimate Fighter House. So I'm actually excited about this season. It's going to be good.
All right, let's pull her in. All right, shout outs. So my shout outs this week are for Gary Goodridge. Started following me on Twitter this week and messaged me.
Pride veteran Gary Goodridge.
And an early UFC guy, so very, very cool. So thank you to him.
One of the most disgusting knockouts of all time is from that guy.
Ben Messerschmidt, Amber Addison. And I also want to send a shout out to my friend Christina Johnson. She was in a really bad car accident this week. She's got a long road to recovery ahead of her. I don't know if she'll hear this, but I just want to tell her I love her. She's one of my oldest friends, and I hope she gets well soon. So that's all I got.
I got Stu Diamond, Randy Dobson. You can follow him at InkedVillain80. Ray Hughes, Cincy Shooters for always supporting us. Rob Mooney for holding down the keto lifestyle. Big ups to him. He's been losing a lot of weight.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's so sick. Anybody in general who is losing weight through keto or ever listened and felt motivated to do anything, big shout out to them. EBI veteran Nikki Sullivan liked us on Facebook.
Nice, that's amazing.
So sick. And then also want to thank our sponsors again, Fighter Philosophy. Remember, check them out on Etsy shop. Go in there, search Fighter Philosophy, go through some shit. They have some pretty cool rash guards here and there. You can get the Miyamoto Musashi one, or you can get one of the more plain ones that I kind of like, because I'm not a big fancy shit like Ryan is. But check them out. Thanks again to Fighter Philosophy. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thank you for all the shout outs and mentions on Twitter and messages on Instagram. It's been a lot of fun. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.